Grab your color samples, a cup of tea, and a design book, or even just a cup of tea if that's all you have, because we're about to delve into the interior decorator career, which is the main feature of the Dream Home Decorator Game Pack. You can enter into this career by using your phone to find a job, and you'll notice that despite being a main career rather than a freelance career, it is still gig-based. Once you're in, from the career panel, click the checklist to bring up the different gigs on offer. If they're grayed out, it means that you're not a high enough level in the career to take the gig. From the panel, you can also see the type of renovation you're doing, as well as whether it's residential or commercial. As you might have guessed, room renovations are the easiest, while level renovations or room and level additions are more involved. There can be a lot of gig types, so use the filters at the top if you know what you want. It'll also show the pay, the budget, and the client. Note that if it's residential, the client's family name can give you an indication of what home you'll be renovating, as you'll head to the residential lot that they own and renovate it for the gig. For community lots, there's more of an acting owner, so the bigger tip-off is the type of renovation, which will usually indicate what type of community lot you're changing. Now, despite being gig-based, it should be noted that when a workday starts, you can send Sims to work alone, making it work the same as a passive career, and this is a completely viable way to progress in this career. But of course, this guide is about actually playing the career, so let's jump into the active part, in which a workday is always broken up into 6 key tasks. The first is to go to work. It's pretty self-explanatory. You know, turn up, show face, say hi. Now the second task is to get to know the client. While the game suggests that this is optional, really I'd say that this option is a lie and that it's highly recommended. You'll notice grayed out question marks in the career panel, and interviewing clients and asking them various questions about design will slowly reveal their preferences as being either likes or dislikes. These generally fall into 3 categories, being color, decor, and activities, and they can be either likes or dislikes. In general, I found likes to be much more helpful than dislikes when it comes time for the renovation, as it gives you a framework for a style your client will like, rather than just telling you what to avoid. Also, I found color and decor to be more helpful than activities because it's easy to add lots of a specific color or decor type to a lot. If you get a dislike on color or decor and you want to turn it into a like, then in the interior decorator section of interactions with clients, you'll notice that you can suggest a different style or color. This has a chance to override the existing like or dislike, which could give you a better framework to work from when it comes to styling. It is luck-based and doesn't always work though. Once you've got the best framework to work with that you can get, then send your client away and it's time to move on to number 3, which is taking before pictures. You can use your phone or a camera in your inventory to take before pictures, and this is much like taking normal pictures, only pictures can only be small or medium. Many of the usual camera controls are there, like clicking to switch between moving the mouse and the camera around and scrolling to zoom. But you can also use the arrow or the WASD keys to move the camera around really quickly, which is an absolute lifesaver. You can also use the Q and E keys to move the camera up and down, which can transition you between floors on multi-story lots. Note that you'll need at least 3 before and later at least 3 after pictures. They can all be the same if you can't be bothered, but it can be really nice to line up similar angles for before and after, which comes into play at the reveal. Take your before pictures, and then we're moving along to number 4, being the actual renovation. Hop into build mode, and on the top left, you'll notice a large box with your renovation guidelines. Most importantly, this includes your restrictions, your budget, and your client's interests. To make sure your clients are happy, you'll want to make sure you come in under budget. You know, don't give them a 100,000 simoleon bill. The other thing to note is that you can click on the interest to bring up objects that align to them, which is very helpful for objects your clients like. For decor and color, this works via tags, and on the right hand side of the screen, just above the objects bar, you'll be able to see what tags are active and adjust accordingly if you like. These tags will filter what objects appear and are ridiculously helpful, especially in the case of decor and interests. And they help you to know exactly what will appeal to your client. For example, you can select the purple color and the Queen Anne decor tags if your client desires that, and then the objects will filter to fit both of these categories. Now, a hot tip, if you are removing objects, make sure you sell them using delete rather than backspace. Backspace will move them into the household inventory, which you can't access. If you sell them, then their cost will be added to your budget. But if you backspace them and they go into the household inventory that you can't access, then it won't add to your budget. The aim of the renovation is to ensure that the colors, decor style, and activities align with your clients' wants while avoiding things that they don't want and making sure that you come in under budget. Note that you don't have to spend hours changing absolutely everything or delete and rebuild entire rooms from scratch. Just updating colors and adding or tweaking furniture to align with decor needs and adding in a few objects that align to key activity wants will do the trick. Also note that if you have a renovation that includes a requirement with adding floor tiles, then this represents the maximum you can add rather than a minimum. You can do a renovation without adding any new floor tiles and still succeed, so don't feel like you have to force an awkward AF room onto a house if it doesn't work. Once you've renovated and you feel you've nailed the brief, then exit out of build mode and move on to stage 5, which is taking those after pictures exactly the way you took the before ones. They don't actually have to align, you can take a photo of a blank wall and the game isn't gonna care, but it can be nice to line them up. Next up is the final and truly optional part, being to reveal the renovation to your clients. Use your phone to call the clients back to the lot and then choose 3 before and 3 after pictures to show the client. You can skip this step and get a verdict straight away, which personally I prefer, or you can host a reveal event and play through showing off your renovations to the client. If you play through, then start by clicking on the clients as they return and selecting show off renovations. Then click on objects you added and select check this out, which will need to be done 3 times. You'll need to chat to the client and interact with them at least 5 times too. Eventually, after they've looked around for a while, they'll get a little clipboard on their head and you can ask them for their final verdict. You'll have to do this for all household members. Personally, I found this really fun the first few times and then resorted to skipping this step as it was a little repetitive. After this, you'll then be told whether your renovation was a success or a fail, and if successful, you'll get a boost to your work performance and reputation, while a fail will do the opposite. If the work performance bar maxes, then you'll get a promotion. Higher career levels will generally see more challenging tasks, but will also mean that gigs which pay big sums of money will appear from time to time. So that's the basics, but here are a few more important quick-fire tips and tricks to know for if you take on this career. If you treat this as a passive career, then always change the way your Sims work to socialize with clients while they're on the job. This will both increase their work performance and their social need, which is a win-win. Next, it can be good and rather fun to take nice before and after pictures of every renovation if you're playing the career seriously, as you will keep the photos and they'll appear in your inventory. You can then make a visual portfolio wall if you have a design room in your Sims home. It just adds a bit of character. As you advance in the career, you'll unlock a few outfits in Create a Sim, so check them out too. The next thing that's important to know is that renovations will remain in place. So if you renovate a household and go and play that household, you'll notice the renovations in the house are there. So try to avoid gigs that involve renovating homes that you feel are perfect and which you don't want to change at all. Similarly, if you renovate a home, know that the budget will not come out of that household's funds. It's like free money when you then go and change households and go and play a home that's been renovated and sell all of that furniture. This can be annoying as it's kind of like a money cheat. For example, when I renovated my Sims home, who I'm doing the homeless challenge with, as you can probably tell, she really likes red now. Then I had to go in and delete the furniture back to what it was and then use the Money X cheat to reset the household funds back to what they originally were too. Keep this in mind and try and avoid gigs in households where you don't want to impact the amount of funds that they have. When checking for gigs, if you want good money, keep an eye out for level renovations, as occasionally these can pay an insane 14,000 simoleons, which is great cash money. When I reached the highest level of the career, I also started seeing some gigs which paid 25,000 simoleons, so some serious money can be made here. Sometimes you'll get a notification that you'll be featured on the Dream Home Decorator Network. The program is sadly generic, but your sim will get a happy +2 moodlet for 4 hours after watching the program if they decide to tune in. When you accept a gig, it'll usually start at the next 9 AM game time either the same day or the next day unless you try and take on a gig after 5 AM, in which case it'll be the following day. Finally, have fun. One good thing about this career is that it's rather flexible in terms of how involved you want the designing to be, so approach it in a way that works for you. Alas, that's a complete guide to the interior decorator career in The Sims 4. If you have any tips and tricks of your own, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed or found that helpful, then please subscribe and leave a like. I would really appreciate it. And have an amazing day. See you later.